I'm Jimmy. Today I'm talking to you about Two Acre Village mural that we've produced in Cheltenham. And I'm going to go into a bit of the process involved in coming up with this design and getting it over the line in the first place. Mid to late last year, my friend Andrew and I were approached to submit a design to cover this wall. We came up with a rough design based off nature and history. We did a lot of research, met with a lot of groups and came up with this rough design. We then presented that to the council and were lucky enough to be chosen in the finalists of the top 4 groups to present. We then presented a more detailed design and luckily enough were given the go-ahead. So we met with a lot of local community groups, tried to find out what they wanted to see on the mural. For us, the historical and the nature kind of thing, really there's something for everyone in there. We've also included some bits of street art in there to try and relate to the youth and to try and get their interest in the wall and therefore get them interested in the history and the flora and fauna. The design process is 99% of the work. I mean, it's the research and all that kind of stuff involved is really what takes the time. The actual painting is, I mean, it still takes a lot of time, but once you know what you're painting, it makes it so much easier. So I guess we pretty much had this whole wall scaled down into a drawing that we'd had on our computer that we were playing around with. I always find it easier to do it on the computer. It allows me a lot more room to maneuver things around. So basically I'll do a rough pencil sketch, we'll have a brainstorm, we'll roughly work out where main elements are going, and then we'll take it all onto the computer. Either mostly in InDesign is what I work in, so I'll get all the images in Photoshop, color correct them, chop them out where I need to chop them out, and basically just lay them all in InDesign, and I can move them around, see what works better. It's all been made to scale, so I know everything's going to fit and I know how big it's going to be basically. So then when it does come time to actually paint it on, I'll grid up that design, I'll put a grid on the wall and just transfer it straight across, so it's seamless. You know it's going to fit, you know everything's going to be included, and you know it's all going to look right. If there are changes, if people want to swap something around, it's very easy for us to just swap it over. And I guess it gives the client a real sense of knowing what the wall's going to look like at the finish, which for us is very important, as it gives them that confidence. It means it's signed off, there's no changes, nothing gets changed throughout the process. You'll notice that we've incorporated many different styles in this mural, so from the photorealistic of the nature and the flora and fauna to these more kind of graphical representations. It's nice to show different styles, and I guess myself and Andrew both paint in different ways, so we kind of catered it to our strengths, I guess. But it does create that nice contrast of these really flat, solid kind of colours against the gradients and the really subtle tones of the photorealism.